Hello and welcome to Flory Models Kit Review Time. Today we've got Cyber Hobbies 1/72. This is the de Havilland Vampire FB.5. Okay, so if you don't know about Cyber Hobbies, obviously not a lot of people do. Okay, they are Dragon. It's part of Dragon's line. Okay, to be honest with you, they do some very nice stuff indeed. So anyway, very nice to see a vampire. We haven't got many around. Obviously, I know there is a few options, but again, it's nice for this aircraft to get a little bit of love. Nice box art, as you can see on there, with that classic underside shape, which is obviously what the Vampire is very famous for. Okay, so walking around on the box, you can see we've actually got some of the scheme in there as well, so that's very nice. Kit number for this one is 5085. Some of the details into this one showing in the CAD. Okay, so it looks like it's got very nice intakes and with the exhaust, and then obviously down on here, around the right way, we can see we've actually got the CAD work down in the back, which is showing how nicely detailed this kit actually is. Whilst we're here, as always, it is sealed. I haven't seen this kit whatsoever, so your impressions are a little bit like mine, being the first. Okay, so we'll just slice those off, and then hopefully we can get into there. Okay, as you can see, 70 seconds, so it's not going to be a massive load jumping out at you. So we've got some nice sprues down in there. We've got little clear parts. We've got your decals, looking very nice, and then obviously we've got the instructions. So in the older instructions, as you can see, it's that standard sort of pull-out giant sort of sheet to this one. Where are we starting? Over here. Okay, so as we can see, we've got pretty much a very basic cockpit, but don't forget this is 70-second scale, so you're not going to need too much running around in there. You are going to need nose weight, so don't forget your nose weight down in there. It's talking about 2.5 grams. I would get in there as much as you can, to be honest. Okay. Decent intakes as well, which is what a nice touch with this kit, that we've actually got a good decent depth of intake going in the back. Okay, then the two halves sandwiching together. Okay, then we've obviously got the belly plate, which would be where your engine sort of is going down the back, and then we've got the nozzles. It's talking about putting the canopy in now, and then obviously we've got the booms coming out to the tail, okay, which is going out down the back there. Gear going all down in there as well. We've got that funny old tyre on the front, the grooved one, which apparently aids keeping it straight and narrow on the runway, okay, and we have got these down in here, these fuel tanks down the end. Putting those on, obviously it's an optional extra if you want to do that one, and then obviously some bits down in here depending on the versions that we'll be doing with that one. Okay, and then again, if you wanted to do it, you could do it in flight as well. You have got a one piece for the actual nose wheel door cover. That one is in there as well if you wanted to do there. But anyway, pretty straightforward. A couple of little bits and pieces on there, but nothing too bad. All right, options for markings is really nice as well. So we got the flying school from 53. We've got one in Iraq in 53 as well, with another flying squadrons, okay, and then obviously we've got another one which is an Iraq version, and then we've got one from Germany, we've got one from the UK in 54 as well, running right the way through, and then again we've got a few other options down in here as well, depending where they are as well, and obviously we've got a nice one for exercises in Gibraltar, so yes. Very, very nice, okay. The colour call outs, again, it's a little bit sort of printed on here, but you get the idea. It's that standard sort of RAF colours down in there with the green and the grey, right the way over, as you can see it just down in there, okay. Actually, not bad at all. Very nice little kit, okay. All right, so decals. We've got these down in here, and as you can see, I won't take them out of the bags, not a lot of point. You can see actually very nice, good, clean, sharp register with all of those and all those different options down in there, which is a nice touch with this one. And again, you've got your numbering along here, which you can pretty much make any version you wanted out of those. Okay, so nicely done, as you can see. Okay, and then we are into the screws. So look at these first, and this, to be honest, is where it really comes to life. Okay, as you can see, this doesn't look like there's much going on, but when you suddenly get into the close-up, as you can see down in here, beautiful recessed detail, very sharp, very nice indeed. So that's the top, as you can see, and then down under here you can see we've got the underside with access panels, all that gorgeous sharp crisp recessed details. Okay, wheel wells looking good, and again this is 70-second scale, very nice indeed. And you can see just from the under here, the one thing I would say is just watch these ejector pin marks on this side, just give them a light rub over just to make sure they're not going to foul with anything. Okay, same with the ones on the tops of the wheel wells, stuff like that. Okay, but generally, as you can see, really very nice detail on those. Then your other sprue over here on sprue B. Okay, so again, we've got this area down in here, which is the underside for the actual engine. We've got these fuel tanks, we've got the sponsons or the sort of booms coming out the back. Okay, one piece as well, so you haven't got halves to mess around with getting together. Okay, these are these intakes, which again, cleverly done because they are one piece. Something you really don't expect to see in 72nd, but that's a really very, very nice touch with those. And then again, we've got the wheels. You've got obviously the wheel wells, which there isn't a whacking great ejector pin on the other side, which is nice as well. And generally, when you're just looking around all the parts, they're really nice and sharp and crisp all the way through. Okay, cockpit as well. Again, got a little bit of detail just running down in here. And again, you've got some options with that as well. So again, really very, very nice. It's nice to see in these smaller scales like this that ejector pins aren't an issue. They're completely out of the way, no problem at all. And that obviously things like a one-piece intake, sort of slip molded, as you can see here, on something of this scale. And the same goes with these fuel tanks on the wings out on here. One piece, slip molded. Don't normally see that in 72nd scale stuff, to be honest. As always, the clear parts, you're into this scale, so they're always going to be a little bit dicey about how they are, but actually giving them the slight wobble test, there's a little bit of wobbly in there, but actually I don't think that's too bad at all. Again, it's 72nd, you can only get it so thin and try and get it out of a mold, and that isn't too bad. Beautiful little kit, again full of little surprises. Lovely to see the slip molded ones in here with these one piece tails. Let's face it, every other kit they swap together. The intakes being seamless like that, that is absolutely phenomenal. That's very, very nice indeed. Great attention to detail done down in there by Cyber Hobby. And that's the thing. Sometimes you often see, you know, Dragon, Cyber Hobby, you think that perhaps Cyber Hobby is the cheap side of it, or the kits wouldn't be as good, otherwise it'd be a Dragon kit, things like that. Sometimes they just have another division which specialises in this type of thing. And Cyber Hobby do a lot of smaller scales, 72nd scale kits, and they are absolutely fantastic. Really, really gems. But I think just because of that way of doing the naming, a lot of people might overlook them, and especially when the box art's not as flamboyant, shall we say, as some manufacturers, that you just see that and think, oh, Cyber Hobby, it's probably a cheap kit, and you overlook it. And that's the thing, don't overlook these kits because they can be absolute little gems, just like this one. So there we go, that's the Dragons Cyber Hobby 172nd de Havilland Vampire Mark 5.